So today we are in the second day session of this Oracle Fusion training. So yesterday we have covered, yesterday we have covered the cloud introduction and then the SaaS PaaS IaaS overview, and then we have just tried to log in into the instance, and then we have seen how to access the application and like what are all the dashboards, those things. But we will have a detailed navigation basics. That is, tomorrow we will have that session. So today we will go into the course content walkthrough. So we will get into the different options, or what are all the modules which is available in Fusion application and what we can achieve with Fusion application. We will understand that, and then we will go into the different offerings which is available in Fusion application, and then we can see what are all the offerings which we will be completing in our training. Okay, this is what we are going to see today. So now, with respect to the SEM capabilities, in Fusion application, we can do the end-to-end supply chain management, which means the complete order to cash cycle and then procure to pay cycle. Okay, so both of them we will be able to complete. So in case let me just quickly like give you a walkthrough in the sheet on what is a procure to pay cycle and what is the order to cash cycle, and then what is the offerings which is involved in that. So maybe you people, some of you who already have experience in the ERP application will know what is a procure to pay cycle and what is an order to cash cycle. But with respect to the offerings which is available in Fusion application, how we have to achieve that. So that's what we are going to see now. And then we are going to see what are all the offerings which is available. Then in that offering, how we are going to see what are all the topic which you are going to see. That is the agenda for today. So let's talk about the first. Let's talk about the procure to pay cycle. Okay, procure to pay cycle. So in the procure to pay cycle, on a very high level, we need something. We need some material. Then we will just purchase it. Then we will pay for it. That is called as a procure to pay cycle. So if you take any of the engineering company or any of the manufacturing company, maybe a laptop manufacturing company. Let's take an example. For a laptop manufacturing company, they will manufacture a laptop, and then they will purchase the raw materials like the keyboard, and then the like the housing body, processor, screen. Okay, these are all the touchpad. Likewise, these are all the parts. They will purchase it, and then they will pay to the supplier. So the whole cycle is called as a procure to pay cycle. So the procure to pay cycle, it starts with the requisition. This is called as a purchase requisition. Okay, this is called as a purchase requisition. And then once the purchase requisition is created, then once the purchase requisition is created, we have to convert that requisition into a purchase order. Okay, we have to convert that requisition into a purchase order. Let me put it like, we have to convert that requisition into a purchase order. Then once the order is created, then we can just, the supplier will create the ASN. Maybe the supplier will create the ASN, and that is the advance shipment notice, or the supplier will send out a message. Always they may not create the ASN, but supplier will send out a message, or they will create an ASN. Then what we will do, we will just receive the materials. Then we will invoice the PO, or else create invoice. We will create invoice. Okay, and then we will make payment to the supplier. Okay, this is the case wherein already the item which is requested by the business is already negotiated with the supplier. Negotiated means already we know the price. But if we are getting a new item, so the business had said, okay, we need a processor, but that processor currently we are getting it for $500, but because of cost cutting, we want to reduce that processor price to $400. So in that case, what they will do, again, they will send the quotation. Okay, so after we create the requisition based on the requirement, we will send first we will just identify supplier. We call it as supplier onboarding, and qualification. Okay, supplier onboarding and qualification. And then we will be doing the sourcing. Sourcing in the sense we will create the RFQ. Okay, we'll create the request for quotation or auction. Likewise, by any of this mean, basically we call everything as negotiation. So we'll create a negotiation and then we will finalize. Okay, we will finalize the supplier. So we'll give an award. So first we will onboard the supplier. Then we will create the RFQ, request for quotation or auction, and then we will just award the project. Then for the particular supplier, we will create a purchase order. So these three steps will come into picture. Basically, for every time supplier onboarding should be there. But after the requisition, we will identify the supplier and do the onboarding in the case of if it is not negotiated or if the price is not already finalized with the supplier. Consider if already the price is finalized with the supplier and then we have created a blanket purchase agreement, then directly whenever we create a purchase requisition, we will go into the purchase order directly. If the price is not finalized, then we will do the supplier onboarding, then we will do the RFQ, then we will do the award, then finally we will go into purchase order, then supplier will send the ASN, we will receive the material, invoice the material and make the payment. So the whole step, these are all the steps, these 9 steps. When we complete this 9 step, we will complete the procure to pay flow. Okay, so any questions on this? In the procure to pay flow, any questions? Okay, fine. Then even if it is very small doubt, don't hesitate to ask. You can just let me know. So next thing is we are going to see the offerings. What are all the offerings which is needed to achieve this functionality? So even we call it as a module. Earlier in e-business suite we call it as a module. Now we call it as an offering. So in the offering means what are all the offering which is needed? So the purchase requisition. So to create the purchase requisition, we need the module called self-service procurement. Self-service procurement. We call it as SSP. Shortly we will call it as SSP, self-service procurement. So in e-business suite, whoever worked in e-business suite, if you already have purchasing module, within the purchasing module itself, you will be able to create the requisition. But in Fusion application, you can create the requisition only in the self-service procurement module. We should separately purchase this offering. If you want to create a requisition, definitely you have to purchase this offering. Without this offering, you cannot create a requisition. Then we have the supplier onboarding. Okay, supplier onboarding and qualification. So this can be achieved through supplier qualification module. Supplier qualification module. This is the second module, second offering which you are going to see. So in using the supplier qualification module, you will be able to whenever we register a new supplier, you can send out questionnaires to them, whether you are an ISO certified, whether you are environmentally certified, or likewise, what is the total number of employees you have? Please provide your tax registration certificate. Likewise, we can create our own set of questions, and then we can send the questions to all the list of supplier, and then supplier will be able to respond back on those questions, and then we can provide some marks based on the answer. Then we can finalize. Maybe if 50 suppliers are getting registered, out of the 50 suppliers, I want to finalize 5-6 supplier. Then based on the answers provided by them, we can give a marks, and then based on the marks, we can identify the best supplier. So this is actually the supplier qualification module. Okay, this is the supplier qualification module. So next one is the RFQ award. Okay, RFQ and award. So these two things are called as this is called as the sourcing module. So the RFQ, auction, and then award creation, both of the things will happen in the sourcing module. So this is sourcing. Then we have the purchase order. The purchase order will be created in the purchasing offering. There is a offering called purchasing. In purchasing offering, the purchase order will be created. And then the supplier can view the purchase order. Then supplier can create an ASN. This can be done in the supplier portal. Okay, this is the supplier portal where suppliers can directly access into Fusion application and they can work on it. This is called a supplier portal. Then to receive that material, we have to use the manufacturing and supply chain material management. That is the offering name. supply chain material management. This is the offering. To receive the material, we need to learn this module, manufacturing and supply chain material management. Within the purchasing module, you cannot receive only until unless if it is an expense item, or you created a requisition for an expense item, and you can receive it within the SSP module itself, self-service procurement itself, in the My Receipts area. So that you can do for if it is an expense item, but if it is an inventory item, definitely you have to go into the manufacturing and supply chain material management module, and then you have to receive it. Then invoicing can be done in the account payables module, and then payment also can be done in the account payables module. Okay, so as part of our training, we will be completely covering all this offering in the procure to pay cycle. We will just touch the we will just only do the invoice creation. We will not go in detail. We will not go in detail into the account payable module, but we will do certain configuration to create the invoice, and then we will be doing a very limited setup in the account payables module. But we will be seeing this as well. But these modules we will see in detail, and then we will do the end-to-end implementation, the procure to pay cycle. The overall cycle is called as a procure to pay cycle, and these are all the offerings in Fusion application which we need to concentrate. Any questions? Any doubts? Anybody? Any doubts? Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Like even if it is a very small doubt, you can ask me. Like please make the session interactive so that it will be good. If it is a very small doubt, or if you have some experience, okay, this particular module we have used or something, you can just share it over. So that's why we all are grouping together. So that will be helpful for others as well. Okay. So even if it is a very small doubt at any point of time, don't hesitate to stop me. You can stop me and ask questions at any point of time.
I have a question.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. So I think you mentioned briefly that the manufacturing and supply chain material management module only worked when you had an inventory item.
Right.
What is the other item, and what would that work on?
Okay.
You mentioned
yeah, the second item I mentioned is an expense item. Okay. Right? Is that the one you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. So second item is an expense item. So we have two types of item basically. One is an inventory item or asset item. We call it as an asset item. On a very high level, if you are purchasing something for your company which is going to make you some profit in future, that is called as an asset item. In a manufacturing company, in a laptop manufacturing company, if they are purchasing the keyboard and then this processor, so these items they will spend the amount and they will purchase it. But with that item, they can assemble a laptop and they can sell it. So that is going to give them a profit in future. So that is called as an asset item. But if they are purchasing their office supplies like tea bag, sugar, milk powder, likewise they are purchasing all the pen, pencil, notebook for their company employees. So with this item, they are not going to get anything. But only it is an expense for the company. So those are all called as an expense item. So if it is just an expense item, or if it is the expense item and created a requisition for that, then you can just do the receiving within the self-service receiving module itself. We call it as My Receipts.
Okay.
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 So, yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. Anybody else? Any question?
Hi Vijay, what happens in supplier portal? Like, what are the information the supplier would furnish?
Okay. In the supplier portal, the supplier can log in into the application same as like we log in into the Fusion application. The supplier can log in into the Fusion application, where the suppliers will be able to view the purchase order which we send them, and then they will be able to respond to the supplier qualification questionnaires which we have sent them. They will be able to respond to the RFQs and maybe the RFQ, RFI and auction. So they will be able to respond to the RFQ quotation. We will ask, okay, I need this many processor, this many keyboard. So what is the price for which you can give? The supplier in the supplier portal, they will be able to see the RFQ, and then they can respond. Okay, if you are going to purchase more than 1,000 pieces, I can give it to you for $400. Likewise, they can respond back to the RFQ from the supplier portal. And then when we award the project, they will get the notification in the supplier portal. They will be able to see the award information. Finally, when we create a purchase order, they can see them. Then for the purchase order, when they start the shipment, they can create the AS and advance shipment notice in the supplier portal. And finally, they can create an invoice from the supplier portal for the whole procure to pay cycle. Wherever the supplier needs to interact, everything can be done from the supplier portal.
Okay, thank you. I got it.
Okay, fine. Even they can do one more thing. Before everything starts, they can load all the items which they are going to supply into the Fusion application through the supplier portal. That is called as item onboarding or item management. The supplier will be able to load the items as well through the supplier portal. Okay, so these are all the things. These are all the modules which we need to cover in case if we want to cover the procure to pay cycle. Okay, any questions? Anybody?
Vijay, Ramandeep Desai.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you, when you say items could be loaded, I mean, those items will be there in the master item as well, or how it will be?
Yeah, the supplier can onboard the item. It's very similar to Amazon, Flipkart, or eBay. I hope you are aware that we can also sell items in Amazon, Flipkart, and eBay.
Yes.
Yeah, so very similar to that. In Fusion application, the supplier, once the login is created, they can just upload the items which they want to sell. So what they can do, they can load the items into Fusion application. They can create that item or load the items. They have more items, they can load it using Excel. If they have one or two items, they can create it manually. And then they can provide the item related information. What is the item number? What is the description? And then what is the item category? They can attach it. So likewise, they can create and they can load it. Then there is a role called product data steward. So the product data steward in Fusion application from the company side, organization side, they can review the items uploaded by the supplier. And if the items are okay, if it has all the information which we need, then they can just accept it. Then the items will be created in the item master. Okay, so till the product data steward completes, he accepted, the item will not go into the item master. Okay.
Okay, so once the transactions are done, how those item quantities are maintained in this portal? Suppose supplier has some quantity, right, and he has uploaded, or is it just the item descriptions which are there?
This is only the item description. The item quantity will not be added by the supplier. They can do it. That is called as a consigned inventory concept, that they have to do it in the manufacturing and supply chain material management through the supplier portal. Through the supplier portal also they can do it. But that concept is called as a consigned inventory, where they can maintain the on hand of the material, on hand of the supplier's material in our inventory organization. There is a concept called consigned inventory. In EBIS, we call it as a VMI, vendor maintained inventory. So that is called as consigned inventory in Fusion application.
Okay, so we'll be covering it through the course.
Yes, that consigned inventory part, as of now, it is not there in the agenda. That is a separate implementation we have to do. But yeah, I can just shed some light on that whenever we come to the inventory management topics on the consigned inventory part.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Okay, good. Okay, so now we have covered the procure to pay overview, and then you have seen what are all the offerings which we need to cover. So if you come into the PPT, you will be able to see. So in the overall cycle, we have procure. Okay, that is what we have seen now, just procure. And then now we can see the order to cash cycle. How we are going to perform the order to cash cycle. Let's take order to cash. We have to understand this as well. As a supply chain consultant, basically whenever any openings come, they will expect us to do any one cycle perfectly, procure to pay cycle or order to cash cycle. Okay, basically the interview question also will be like, can you explain the procure to pay cycle? So you should be able to explain the whole thing, and then you can explain what are all the offering in which we will do it. So this will give a very good idea for the interviewer that you know all these offerings, that you have at least worked with all these offerings. Okay. So next one is the order to cash cycle. Now we'll talk about the order to cash cycle. So in the order to cash cycle, at a very high level, if I want to explain, you have some item and you are going to sell it, and then you will get some amount back from the customer. So let's take, you are selling something in OLX. Okay, in a very simpler term, you have a used bike and you want to sell it in OLX. What you will do? You will just put your item in the OLX, and then whoever need that bike, so they will just see that online, they will contact you, and then they consider they are just creating an order. They will just contact you and they will say, I want to purchase this item. Then they will come and collect, or you will just send that item to them, then they will make the payment to you. So it's at a very high level, this is an order to cash cycle. So you are selling something to the customer. So in Fusion application, it will start with, okay, in Fusion application, it start with sales order. Okay, we have to create a sales order. And then in the sales order, if you want to create a sales order, we need also the pricing. We have to set up the pricing, or we can call it as a price list. What is the price for which you are just going to sell that item? So that is the price list. And then from which organization you will be able to fulfill that item. Maybe you will have multiple inventory organization. So we are going to see about the enterprise structure in detail in another 2 session. Then you will understand it in little bit more clear. What is an inventory organization? So maybe for maybe you take a more supermarket. If you take a more supermarket, there are 2 branches are there. So each branch is called as inventory organization, where we will store that material, okay, and then from where we will just transact the material to issue out of the stores when our customer purchase something, or when we will receive that material whenever our suppliers send the goods. So that is called as an inventory organization. So if we have multiple inventory organization, from which inventory organization we will ship that material to the customer. That is called as the fulfillment. Okay, that is called as the order. Okay. Before fulfillment, we have the order promising. Okay, we have the order promising. Wherein we will just create the sourcing rule. Based on the sourcing rule only, we will say from this organization you go and pick that material. Then we have the order fulfillment. Okay, we call it as a order fulfillment. Or finally, what we will do? We will do the shipping to the customer. Okay, we will do the picking and shipping. We'll say picking and shipping we will perform. Once we ship it, then finally what we will do, we will just invoice. Here the invoice is called as the account receivable invoice. Okay, here we will just again create it, but here it's account receivables, which means in the procure to pay cycle, the invoice which you created, for which you will make payment to the supplier, but in the order to cash cycle, you will create an invoice, and for this, the supplier, your customer will make the payment to you. Okay, then we have something called collections. So this is nothing but the payment collection module. So whenever the customer going to pay you, you can just receive the payment. So the whole cycle, this is called as the order to cash cycle. The sales order can be created in the module called order management is the module. Order management is the offering. Okay, we have, let me just put this once again. This is order to cash cycle. This is offerings or module. This is order management. Then this is called as the pricing. So in the pricing module only you can create the price list. Then we have to create the sourcing rule, ATP rule, and then assignment set to inform the system that, okay, if the customer is requesting for this particular item, then ship it from this particular inventory organization so that you can make some benefit. Okay, so that kind of suggestion can be provided by the system. That is called as that module is called as the global order promising, GOP. Okay, global order promising, called as a GOP. So this global order promising, we have to learn to do to all this order promising activity. Then we will do the picking and shipping. This will be done again in the manufacturing and supply chain material management only. We will be doing the picking and shipping. But in e-business suite, you will be doing the shipping within the order management module. But in Fusion application, if you want to do the picking and shipping, you have to come into the manufacturing and supply chain material management only. You cannot do that in order management. Separately, you have to do it in manufacturing and supply chain material management. At a very high level, any material transaction you do, if it is a receiving, shipping, or picking process, okay, or counting adjustment, any material transaction will happen only in this module, manufacturing and supply chain material management. So this will become a centralized module which is needed for both procure to pay and then the order to cash cycle. Okay, so then we will do the, after we do the picking and shipping, then we will do the invoicing, and this module is called as the account receivables. Okay, account receivables. Then this is called as this module is called as the collections. This is the payment collection. This module is collection. So as part of our session, we will be completely covering this order management, pricing, global order promising, manufacturing and supply chain material management. And this account receivables we will cover. We will cover like a slightly few configuration with respect to account receivable. We will create the customer, because in account receivable only we can create the customer. We will create the customer, set up the customer accounts, which we will use it for the complete order to cash cycle. So we will touch base on the account receivable part as well. But this account receivable will be taken care in detail by the financial consultant. So as a supply chain consultant, we don't want to we don't want to indulge more into this module. So these are all the 4 modules: order management, pricing, global order promising, and manufacturing and supply chain material management. This will be covered as part of the order to cash cycle. Okay, so if you see in the, okay, so before I go into the overall concept, so in the order to cash cycle, do anyone have any questions?
Will you cover how we handle drop ships in this? Because,
yes. So if you take the global order promising, in the global order promising, all the different flows are available. For example, after you create a sales order, then through the sales order, there are possibility for 3 different flows. One is called as the standard shipment order flow. Standard shipment order flow. And then second one is drop shipment flow. Drop shipment flow. And then third one is called as the back-to-back flow. Third one is called as the back-to-back flow. So in the standard shipment order flow, we will have the on hand in the inventory. So we will just reserve that material and then we will ship it to the customer. So very, very straightforward, the standard shipment order flow. Just pick the on hand, ship it to the customer, create the invoice and get the payment. In the drop shipment flow, we will just get the order, but we will not maintain the on hand of that material. We know that this material is supplied by so and so supplier. So we will just we will create a purchase order for specific to that particular sales order. We will create a purchase requisition and purchase order. And then the supplier will ship the goods directly to the customer. And then we will be paying to the supplier, and then we will be receiving the amount from our customer, but the complete fulfillment will be taken care by the supplier itself. Very similar to what Amazon and Flipkart are doing now. So whenever we place an order to Amazon, Amazon will not maintain the on hand and they are going to send. But for certain items, they have it. But on a very high level, whenever we place an order to Amazon, Amazon will send the order to their supplier, and then the supplier will directly ship the goods to us in the Amazon packing, and we will receive that material and we will pay to Amazon, and Amazon will pay to the supplier after taking some commission. So that cycle is called as a drop shipment flow, wherein the fulfillment will be done by a supplier, but we will just collect the payment and we will collect the payment from the customer and we will make the payment to the supplier. That is called as a drop shipment flow. So the drop shipment flow also we will cover in the order promising. Then The last one is the back-to-back flow. In the back-to-back flow, even we have 3 subflows. Those also will be covered in our session. Here you can say I'll just put it as 3.a, which is called as the in the back-to-back flow also we can create a purchase requisition. Okay, we can create a purchase requisition wherein the supplier will be able to ship the goods to us. Then finally we will ship the goods to the customer. That is the back-to-back process. After the order is created, then you will request to your supplier and he will supply the goods, and then you will ship it to your customer. The second one is you can do it through the transfer order. For example, for one inventory organization, you don't have the on hand, but another inventory organization have the on hand. Then you will create a back-to-back flow wherein the material will be shipped from your neighboring inventory organization to your inventory org. Then finally you will ship it to your customer. That is called as a back-to-back transfer. Then the third one is back-to-back make. Okay, make order. So this make order means when after you create an order, then after the customer places the order, then we will go and manufacture that item and then we will ship it to the customer. We will not be able to see this make order concept because we have to completely implement the manufacturing module so that we will be able to do the make order. But how the make order will be generated and then what is the setup which you need to do, that will be covered as part of our session. Okay, so all this flow, so standard shipment, drop shipment, and back to back, everything is covered in our order to cash cycle. Clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Vijay, one thing, I mean, in back-to-back flow, as you said, we will be moving the item from one inventory organization to another inventory organization, right? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. That is called as a transfer order flow. For example, you have 2 inventory organization. One is in Chennai, another one is in Mumbai. So the customer in Chennai had placed an order. So the order basically allocated to Chennai inventory organization. But in the Chennai, they don't have an on hand. So what they will do, they will just send a request to Mumbai organization to send that material. So from the Mumbai, they will create a transfer order, or from the Chennai, they will just request for a transfer order. So the material will be sent from Mumbai to Chennai inventory, and from the Chennai inventory, they will ship it to the customer, or they will deliver it to the customer. That particular flow is called as a back-to-back flow, and then the specific subflow is called as a transfer order back-to-back flow.
Okay. But
Even you can, instead of getting it from another inventory organization in Mumbai, maybe you can just get it from a supplier in Chennai itself. Right? Rather than getting it from Mumbai, maybe it is going to take 5 to 6 days for the shipment. Then they can get it from a local supplier immediately, and then they can deliver it to their customer. That is called as a purchase requisition back-to-back flow.
okay, but what is the difference? I mean, in purchase requisition also we can do it, and drop shipment also follows the same thing. What is the difference between the two?
Okay, in the drop shipment, from the end customer, we don't have any different. End customer is finally going to receive that item. But for certain items, you cannot ask your supplier to directly send it. Let's take an example like that item needs some pre-processing. For example, okay.
Inspection, etc. Whenever inspection.
Yeah. Maybe on that item they have to do some pre-processing. The supplier, when they send it, the supplier, when they send that item, they will not have a logo at all. For example, you purchased a laptop. In that laptop, you will not have a logo. Whatever the supplier can send, that that will not have a logo. Then you are getting that, and then you are imprinting your company logo, and then finally you will deliver it to your customer. So wherein in the drop shipment flow, the items which cannot be directly shipped to the customer cannot use the drop shipment flow. Like they have to send to us, and then we have to do some pre-processing on that item, and then only we can deliver it to our customer. In such case, we can do the back-to-back purchase requisition flow. Getting it? Okay. Fine. So this is called as okay. So anybody else, any question on the order to cash cycle?
Vijay, so in R12 we have TP1 and TP2 calculation, right? So here it happens in transfer order, is it?
What is it? Can you repeat?
Transfer price 1, transfer price 2. We have TP1 and TP2
Okay, yeah. Transfer pricing, yeah. Transfer
So that
pricing, yeah.
happens here, is
That
it?
need to be done as part of the configuration of transfer order.
Okay, thank you.
And Vijay, this make order, like in EBIS, if
Mm.
you have a make order, right, it goes through that VIP module, right? We need to have a
Exactly.
VIP module
Yes.
implemented. So here in this Fusion, do we have another thing which we have to have in place, like any other offering which we need to have?
Yes,
This
that
make
is
order
called as
implemented?
the manufacturing offering. Actually, in this module only, in the manufacturing and supply chain
Okay.
material management itself, there if you want to enable the manufacturing, you have to enable it, but that's a separate offering we need to purchase. So if you have that offering, then you will be able to do the manufacturing here. Here it is called as the work definition and then the work execution. We will not call it as a manufacturing module. That is called as a work definition and then work execution. In the work definition, you will create all the routing, and then the work execution, you will create the work order, and then you will make that item. So if you implement the manufacturing module as well, then when you do the make order, you will be able to manufacture that item, and then we will get that on hand and final finished good item. Then we will ship it to the customer.
Okay. So, in general, if I have to implement an order to cash, I need to buy all these offerings, right? Without that, I
Based
cannot.
on the business scenario, if you take Amazon is not going to make any item, right? They are not going to manufacture any item.
Okay.
They're having that business as well, but at a very high level, if you see, not going into scenario based thing, at a very high level, you see what Amazon does, they will receive that order. Some stock they will maintain, they will ship it to customer, but most of the item they will request the supplier to do it, and then the supplier will ship that material. So they don't need the make order concept. So they can do only purchase requisition and transfer order. That's all. They don't need a make order. But if you take a TVS, for a TVS or Maruti Suzuki, if you take it, whenever you want to purchase a bike or a car, after you place that order, they will just they will make the car. That then they need the concept of manufacturing module. Okay, so based on the business scenario, we can just tweak whichever flow which is needed. All the flows will not be applicable for all the customers.
Right. So that VIP I understood, but it is like order management, pricing, and global promising, and picking and shipping, that manufacturing and supply
Definitely
chain. So
needed. Yes,
yeah. So
all these four modules are definitely needed. Even invoicing and collections, these are all needed so that you can finally invoice and make the payment, get the
okay.
payment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So this is the overall procure to pay cycle and order to cash cycle. So now if you go into this screenshot, you will be able to see. So first we can just design the order. Okay. First you can design that order. The design is nothing but our product management, where you can create the product and then maintain all the product related attributes. That is called as a designing. Then we will receive that order from the customer. Then we will make the plan. So the plan is, we can consider as a global order promising, or even we have the advanced planning central module where we will do the supply planning and demand planning. That is separate. ASCP module, advanced supply chain planning module, is there. GOP is actually a part of it. So using the global order promising, we will decide from which sub-inventory, from which inventory are you have to ship it, or from which supplier you have to pick that material. All those things we will understand in the GOP. Then we will procure that material. Then we will manufacture that material. Then we will fulfill it. Fulfill is nothing but you are going to ship that material to the customer. Then we will bill it. This is the invoicing. We will bill it, and then finally we will cost it. So as part of manufacturing and supply chain material management, we will see the costing as well. Cost it. So we will see this complete end-to-end flow as part of our training. So this end-to-end flow will cover all the implementation as well, not alone the execution. From the scratch, we will do all the end-to-end configuration, and then we will do our implementation. Okay, let me show you one sheet. Here you can see in the sheet, these are all kind of a beer 100 kind of document, wherein we have all the list of transactions which we have to do, all the list of configurations which we have to do, starting from the business unit creation, then how to set up the payment term, common options for payable and procurement, document numbering, item or inventory or location. Likewise, all the mandatory setup which is needed to complete a end-to-end implementation will be done in this as per the sheet. And then from in our own configuration only we will do our execution. We will not go with the standard configuration. With our own configuration, we will complete and then we will do the execution finally. Whatever the procure to pay cycle and order to cash cycle I have mentioned. So the same thing we will cover in our own configuration. Okay, that is the agenda for the 50 days. So now, as part of the offering, this is the offering. You can see supply chain management. In the supply chain management, we have the product master data management. Then we have the inventory management, cost management, shipping and receiving. So this is the second module. If I go into our offering, just give me 1 minute. Just give me a second. Okay, you can see this one. In our course content, we have mentioned Oracle SCM Cloud training course content. So the first module will be product data hub. So if you see this, so product master data management will be covered. Then second one is the inventory management. In the inventory management, we will cover inventory management, cost management, shipping and receiving will be covered in the inventory management. Then we will go into the order management. Before that, we will cover the procurement, but last module is order management. In the order management, we will cover the global order promising and then the distributed order orchestration. So this part we will cover. And then all the reports and then the KPI and dashboard. So the complete Oracle Fusion supply chain management will be covered. And then here you can see Oracle Fusion procurement will be covered as part of the procurement module. So we will do the self-service procurement using which we can create a requisition. Then we will use the sourcing module using which we will do the RFQ and then request for information and then negotiation and then award in the sourcing module. Then we will create a purchase order using the purchasing module. Then supplier portal and supplier qualification is not mentioned over here. Supplier qualification also we will do it as part of sourcing. Then we will see the procurement contracts at a very high level, because this procurement contracts is also a detailed enterprise contract module. We will see the procurement contract when we use the contract management. Okay. So then the whole Oracle Fusion procurement module will be covered. The spend and performance analysis is just a BI publisher reporting. So we'll see the spend and performance analysis and also all the KPIs and reporting. So the complete procure to pay cycle we will implement using this Oracle Fusion procurement offering. So these two offerings are completely covered as part of our training: Oracle Fusion supply chain management and Oracle Fusion procurement. So these are the two offerings which we will see, and the detailed topics are mentioned in this document. Okay. So these are the detailed topics which is available. So as per our procure to pay cycle and then the order to cash cycle, so the complete implementation will be done and then we will be doing the execution. Okay, so that is the agenda for this course. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. Anybody, any questions?
So when you showed the order to cash flow cycle and you were talking about the design, was that design you're talking about? Are you talking about a configurator or?
Okay, that design is specifically we are calling it as product data hub. Okay, the design is configurator is also a part of that product data hub, product master data management module, wherein we can just use the ATO modeling and then we can just allow the customer to configure that product and then use it. But that configurator module is not covered as part of our training in detail. But I can shed some light on where it will be, where that configurator module will be coming into picture. But to answer your question, yes, the design is that particular design which is mentioned in that overall flow, that doesn't cover the configurator. That is the product design. There is a concept called product design, wherein you will create your ideas. And based on the ideas, you will gather the requirement. Then based on the requirement, you will collect all the detailed material requirements. Then finally, you just introduce that as a new product into the market. So that is the design that covers the product design module, which is not how to say it, which is not part of the which is actually part of the product hub. But the design is not actually the configurator module.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody else? Any questions? Okay, so let me share this course content with you. Okay, 1 minute. Let me just put this in the chat so everyone will be able to. Okay, everyone will be able to get this one. Let me. Okay, 1 minute. I'm just trying to get it. Or else I will do one thing. You can also access this one. Okay, let me just share this one. You can go to cloudshinepro.com. And then the same course content is available in this website as well. If you want to refer to this course content, definitely you can just go to in the courses section. You will be able to see Oracle Fusion Supply Chain Management Cloud. So when you go into the Supply Chain Management Cloud, you will be able to see the detailed course content, whatever I'm showing you. So this is what we will be covering in the next 50 days session. So the complete product data hub, inventory management, procurement, and order management, and what are all the detailed topics. So we have in the introduction, yesterday we have covered the SaaS PaaS IaaS overview. We have covered the Oracle SCM cloud capabilities. Today we have covered the SCM capabilities, and then order to cash, and then with the help of order to cash cycle and procure to pay cycle. We have understood that. And in tomorrow's session, we will go into the navigation basics. We will open the system and we'll see what are all the things which we can cover. Then resources, all the documentation. Then all the roles and responsibility, how to start the implementation planning. Then enterprise structure, we will define our own enterprise structure in the Fusion application. We'll cover the enterprise structure. Then we will go into our product data hub module. So in the product data hub module, we will see how to set this product data hub module is completely to see how to configure an item or how to set up an item. How to set up the item, how to set up the item class, which is the taxonomy of the item, how to manage the catalog and categories, and then how to set up the additional attributes, which is called as the DFF and EFF, and then how to load the item, using how to load that item using an FBDA, file-based data import, how to edit that item by exporting that into an Excel, which is called as the ADFDA. So these things will be covered in detail. And how to set up the item structure, which is nothing but the bills of material. How to set up the bill of material, then how to set up the new item request, and then send the item for approval whenever we create that item, and how to set up the approval workflow. Then how to do the change order workflow whenever we make some changes to that item, whether we have to send it for approval, and how to make the changes. Okay. Then item rules. Using the item rules, we will be able to create the item description or item numbering automatically. Or we can assign some attributes, or assign the item to the categories, or assign the item to the organization using the rules. Automatically, you can execute that. So these are all the things which you will be covering as part of the product data hub module. Okay, product management module. Any questions on the product management? What is the topic which you are going to cover? Anybody? Any questions? Okay, so then the next thing we will cover is the inventory management module. After we cover the product management, we will cover the inventory management cloud. In the inventory management cloud, we will do the end-to-end implementation of the inventory management module. We will set up new users specific to inventory management. We will provide all the necessary roles. For each and every module, we'll create a new user. We will assign all the necessary roles. We will provide the proper data access, and then we will do the execution. Okay, so that inventory management, all the configuration and then the execution we will do. Then we will see the lot and serial based transaction, how to set up the lot control, serial control on this transaction. Then how to review the on hand, how to check the reservations. Okay, all those things we will cover. Then the different types of transactions. We have something called documented and non-documented transaction. So the sub-inventory transfer, miscellaneous transaction, movement request, these are all, the sub-inventory transfer, miscellaneous transaction, these are all non-documented transaction. And then movement request, transfer order, these are all documented transaction. We will see the difference, and then we will do the setup and the execution. Then we will do the receiving, different kind of receiving, standard receipt, and then inspection required, and then direct delivery. So the different receipt routing, and then how to do the receiving and the receiving related setup, returns and corrections, all those things will be covered in the receiving part. Then we will cover the inventory replenishment. This is the min-max planning will be covered. And then the cycle counting. Okay, cycle counting and physical counting. These two concepts are called as the inventory accuracy concept. So this will be covered for the cycle counting, for the inventory accuracy. The cycle counting and physical inventories will be covered. Then finally, in the inventory management, we'll do the costing implementation. There are basically 3 types of costing available. One is called as a standard costing, an actual costing, and average costing. So during the session, I will be doing the complete end-to-end implementation. I will be doing 2 costing method, maybe standard costing and average costing. I will execute in front of you, and then 1 costing method. I would request each and every student to do it, and then you can show the results to me, so that you can. So which means when you are able to do that in your system, you can make sure that you know all the setups. Like when you want to do this costing and execute it, you should know how to create an item, how to set up the parameters of that item, and how to create your inventory organization, sub-inventory locators, and how to set up, how to perform many transactions, and then how to do the costing implementation and how to do the costing. So that will be one of the exercise for every student. So in the cost management, one of the costing method you should execute and show me the output. Okay, so that will be one of the exercise. So this is what we will cover in the inventory management, which is called as the manufacturing and supply chain material management module, excluding the manufacturing part. So any questions in this? Okay. So then we will cover then we will start the procurement cloud. We will do the procurement end to end. So as today I have shown you the procure to pay flow. So we will see the procure to pay flow in the system from the start, from the requisition creation till the end of the execution. We will see the procure to pay flow in the system. Then we will do the end to end implementation as per our BR100 document. Then we will set up all the we will create the supplier and manage the supplier. We will set up the approval. There are various approval: purchase order approval, requisition approval, supplier approval, award approval. So all the approval policies and how to set up the approvals in the front end, we can see that, and we don't need any technical knowledge for this. In functional people itself can do it. So approval management. Then we will see how to set up the purchase order, how to create the purchase order, and then how to execute them. Then we will see the self-service procurement, how to create a requisition and what are all the configuration which is needed. That will be covered as part of the self-service procurement. Then the requisition creation. Then we will see the sourcing, RFQ and award as well, how to create the request for quote and then how to award the project to the supplier. Then we will see the financial setup, which is called as a tab implementation, transaction account builder. Only if we do this configuration, we will be able to get the charge account, accrual account, and variance account. So how to do that tab setup, we will see that. So these are all the things which will be covered in the Oracle Procurement Cloud implementation. Any questions? Okay. So then the last module will be order management. We will do the order to cash cycle. Today I have just talk in detail at a very high level. But when we go into order management, we'll do the order to cash cycle in the system. First, we will do the complete cycle with an existing configuration, so you can understand the flavor of the system. Then we will go into our own implementation. We will set up our own business unit and then own order management parameters, then pricing. Then we will set up the global order promising. Then we will do the order orchestration. Then we will do the shipping as well. So the shipping we will do it twice in manufacturing and supply chain material management as well. And then when you go into order management, again you have to refer to the shipping. You will do the shipping. Then finally you will be doing the invoicing of the order as well. So a few other concepts. Transformation rules is one of the advanced concepts which you need to understand. We will see the transformation rules as well. Then finally we will be seeing the reports and business intelligence for SCM, wherein I will show you how to develop a report using SQL and without SQL. This will be covered as the last session. That will be a little bit technical part, but every consultant should know this so that they can consult to the customers easily on the report development. So we'll cover the report development as the last session. Okay. So this is the overall agenda and then the course content for our 50-day session. Anybody have any questions? Are you clear? Any questions? Or if you feel like, okay, this particular topic, I thought it would be added. So you can just provide that comments as well. If it is something which we can cover, definitely we can cover that as well. Okay, fine then. So we have just covered the second day demo session as well. Okay, so if any of you have any questions or any clarifications which you want to cover, so the new students who have joined today, you can just reach out to this number and just drop a WhatsApp message to this number to register yourself. So for already registered students, so today definitely we will share you the link to access the instance, and then the video access as well. So the last 2 day session is already loaded into the cloud, and you should be able to access it. So we will provide you the link to access it. And then for the new students also, you can just reach out to this number and you can register. Then you will get the video access and then the instance access. Okay, so you can drop an email to inquiry@cloudshinepro.com, or you can just drop a message to this number. So this is specifically for the new students who joined today. Okay. Okay, if you are good and if you don't have any questions, we can close for today and we can continue same time tomorrow.
Okay, so I just got a quick question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Clarification. So if we've already so I know last time we were supposed to drop a message for this number. So I didn't do that yet. So I did that just now.
Okay.
And then do we also have to do the same thing for the email too, or is it just one or the other?
Yes, you can drop a message or email. Any one is good, whichever it's easy for you, you can do that. You don't need to do both. You can just drop a message to this number, WhatsApp number, that should be good. And with respect to the certification you're talking, like we already, our course content is completely based on the certification only. So once we cover the course, you can just go on and execute it completely. When you are able to execute the transactions and then the setups which I am doing, when you are able to execute, then definitely you will be able to clear out of 10 questions, 6 questions, you will be able to answer it yourself. And then remaining 4 questions, you should learn the FAQs, frequently asked question, in the documentation. You can just refer to that, and then you can just get at least remaining 2 questions. So out of 10 questions, if you can answer 7.2 questions, which is almost 7 questions, if you can answer, definitely you can clear the certification. So I will be able to assist you on the certification part as well. Once we complete a module, maybe I'll spend 15-20 minutes to explain you how the questions will be there, and I can assist you with respect to the certification as well.
Okay. I've got another question. So for the details for the instance, or the
so
login
instance, you will be provided with the instant detail, and we will create a separate user for you, like SEM_student, and you can just access that user, and you can do all the configuration and execution, whatever I'm doing, everything you will be able to do in that instance. So we will be sharing you that instance access once you register. And you will be having it for 90 days. For 50 days, we will be in the training, and then you will have for next 40 days for your practice. And beyond that, if you want, you can just pay additionally, and you can just take the instance access.
Okay, cool. Okay, so originally, so for the 90 days, it's free, and then after that,
yeah, 90 days also, you are going to pay for it, right? So that's included in the training fee, and after that, separately, we have to pay and get it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. So thanks everyone for joining. So you can just reach out to us, and then we can just continue. So tomorrow same time, so the training will start, and for next 48 days we will continue in the same link. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks everyone.
Bye now.
We'll continue
Thank you.
tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.